Davy shook his head and struggled a little as he pulled the last of the fishing equipment out of the back of my car and threw it over his shoulder. Though the guy was shorter than me, he wasn't short by any stretch of the imagination. Still, the sheer number of rods and reels weighing him down made him look all squished down. What could I do, though? I'd have helped him out, but this was the bet, and if you lose a bet, you have to pay the price. Everyone knew that. "It's not fair," Davy said, clearing his throat and straightening his stance. "It's just not." "The rules were the same for the both of us," I replied, nodding firmly. "That's kind of the definition of fair." "Except, you see, I don't believe that," Davy said, walking shakily toward the front porch and scoffing at me. "I think I got lied to, hosed, as the kids would say." "Hosed?" I asked. "The whole trip was your idea. How could I have hosed you?" "Was it, though?" Davy asked, depositing all the fishing equipment and luggage onto the swinging bench on the front porch with a couple of loud clangs. "Yeah, it was," I reminded him. "I was sitting there minding my own business and trying to watch the game, and you came bouncing up with a brochure for a fishing boat and a 3-day trip back and forth across the Gulf. Again, that's kind of the definition of your idea." Davy pointed a finger at me, my friend's face all red from 3 days out in the Florida sun. "And when I told you that idea, you said you had never been on a fishing trip before. In fact, you told me that you could have counted all the times you'd been fishing on one hand and you'd still be able to shoot me a peace sign." "And that is true," I said. "I wasn't a coastal kid, and it's not like I've had a lot of time to throw my head back and fish since I've been here." That was definitely true. In the 6 or so months since I'd moved to Bonita Springs, Florida, after winning the lottery and getting kind of famous, things had been more than a little hectic for me. I had found myself in more than a little trouble, and while I had never really been the cause of that trouble, I had to admit that adventure certainly did have a way of following me around. Not that Davy seemed too impressed with the idea of that. His glare still came across as accusatory. "Oh," my best friend said, throwing his hands out at his sides. "So I'm just supposed to believe that a guy who has fished a total of 3 times could catch that much stuff in the last few days. I'm just supposed to believe you're that lucky?" "Well," I said, a smile spreading across my face, "being lucky is kind of my thing. In case you've forgotten, my name is—" "Shut up, I know what your name is," he sneered, shaking his head at me. "It should be liar, John, because that's exactly what you are. Don't think you're fooling me. No one is that good at fishing just off the bat. It's not possible." As much as I'd like to stick around and hear everything you have to say on the subject, I'm afraid I've got better plans. "Better? I seriously doubt that," Davy said. "What's better than watching your best friend in the world put away all of our fishing equipment and repack your luggage?" "Cleaning," I said. "You're cleaning and then putting away all the fishing equipment. You know what the bet was, Davy." "You smug bastard," Davy said, picking the equipment back up as I slid a key into the door. "I'm telling you, I got hosed." "I will neither confirm nor deny that," I said, finally starting to play into Davy's suspicions. "I can say that my plans are, in fact, much better than watching you do any of those things." I shrugged. "They're better than watching you do anything, really. No offense." "All the offense? I'm very offended," Davy said, lugging the stuff through the doorway and dropping it all in front of the couch. At this rate, he'd have all of it safely tucked into the back utility closet where it belonged by this time next year. "I should have known that when you finally got yourself a girlfriend, you'd forget about old Davy. It's a shame. It really is." "Firstly, you're not nearly quiet enough for me to ever forget about you," I said. "And secondly, I don't have a girlfriend. Mia and I have gone out a couple of times. It's been fun. But I still haven't gotten her to actually call them dates or anything." Davy grinned at me. "Are you saying that the great and powerful ladies' man known as Lucky John